My name is Lester David for General Anatomy and Physiology, and today we are talking about neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction. The point where a nerve fiber meets any target cell is called a synapse. When the target cell is a muscle fiber, the synapse is also called a neuromuscular junction or motor end plate. Each terminal branch of the nerve fiber within a neuromuscular junction forms a separate synapse with a muscle fiber. The sarcolemma of the neuromuscular junction is irregular, indented, a little like a handprint pressed into soft clay. If you imagine the nerve fiber to be like your forearm, branching out at the end of your fingers, the individual synapse would be like dents where your fingertips press into the clay. Thus, one nerve fiber simulates the muscle fiber at several points within the neuromuscular junction. Now, we are going to talk about the components of neuromuscular junction. At each synapse, the nerve fiber ends in a bulbous swelling called a synaptic knob. The knob doesn't directly touch the muscle fiber but is separated from it by a narrow space called the synaptic cleft, about 60 to 100 nanometers wide. A third cell, called a Schwann cell, envelopes the entire junction and isolates it from the surrounding tissue fluid. The synaptic knob contains a spheroidal organelle called the synaptic vesicles, which are filled with a chemical acetylcholine. The electrical signal traveling down a nerve fiber cannot cross the synaptic cleft like a spark jumping between two electrodes. Rather, it causes the synaptic vesicle to undergo exocytosis, releasing ACH into the cleft. ACH thus functions as a chemical messenger from the nerve cell to the muscle cell. To respond to ACH, the muscle fiber has 50 million ACH receptors, proteins incorporated into its plasma membrane across from the synaptic knobs. To maximize the number of ACH receptors and thus its sensitivity to neurotransmitter, the sarcolemma in this area has numerous infoldings about 1 UM deep called junctional folds, which increase the surface area of an ACH sensitive membrane. The entire muscle fiber and Schwann cell of the neuromuscular junction are surrounded by a basal lamina, which separates them from the surrounding connective tissue, composed partially of collagen and glycoproteins. The basal lamina passes through the synaptic cleft and virtually fills it. Both the sarcolemma and part of the basal lamina in the cleft contain acetylcholinesterase. This is an enzyme that breaks down ACH after the ACH has stimulated the muscle cell. Thus, it is important in turning off muscle contraction and allowing muscle to relax. And this is the neuromuscular junction and its components. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.